Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a full set of long square nails with gel polish and a little bling. Right here I am simply showing you the nails, and I'm going to start by pushing back the cuticle and cleaning the cuticle area with my cuticle bit. This is the easier way that I found, which allows me to push back and clean the cuticle area without hurting my customer. My customers like it. They don't complain. They don't say that it's bothering them or anything. And because it is round, it is allowing me to get close and clean very well without nicking them or cutting them in this sensitive area. So now I'm going to carefully file with my sanding band on the tops of the nail beds to remove any shine from the natural nail. Now with this step, I always use a coarse sanding band, and I have my drill, my electric file, on the lowest setting. I keep my finger rested upon their finger, and I always have the drill bit very flat, never bending it forward, because you don't want to create grooves or pivots in the nail. When you are filing the tops of the nails, you want to simply keep the sanding bit flat against the nail, carefully go around the cuticle area and remove the shine. You never want to file or overly file or dig in the nails. You simply want to remove the shine. I'm not trying to remove bulk. I'm not trying to even out the nail. I'm simply removing the shine of the natural nail plate. This technique is safe, and you want to make sure that you are being as careful as possible around that cuticle area. You do not want to nick your customer because it will be very painful. As you see on this nail, I'm being very careful because my customer had cut herself at work, and it was actually pushing her cuticle back very far, so I needed to be very careful to make sure that I didn't do extra damage. Alright, so after I have removed all the dust, I'm going to start applying my tips. Now, my rule for applying tips is that bigger is better. I'll explain. When you apply tips, everyone's nail beds are differently. Everyone's nail shape is differently, so you never want to apply the tip too small. If you apply the tip too small, it can easily have hangage of acrylic on the sides, or it'll be weak in certain areas and the nail will break or pop off very easily. So when I apply tips, I first check to make sure that the tip fits, and if it doesn't fit the way I want it to, I'll grab a bigger tip and then I will shape the sides down so that when I put the tip on, it'll fit perfectly. You don't want to use a lot of glue. You don't need a lot of glue. You just want to put the glue on the inside well of the tip, the little lighter line compared to the rest of the tip. And you want to put it on nice and even and straight. Another good tip is if the nail bed or the finger is crooked, you can even flip the nail around to put the nail on better. Once I have applied my tips, I'm going to begin cutting to the desired length that my customer likes. Most of my customers have longer nails, so I always start off long, and I do not cut as much as they tell me to in case they decide to change their mind, because you can't go back. After you cut the desired length that they want, and you cut the nail down and cut it into the shape that they want, this particular customer is getting square, so not much needs to be changed. You want to go ahead and size up each finger next to each other to make sure that the nails are the same length on both hands. It looks very tacky if one hand is longer than the other, if one finger is longer than the other. You always want to double check everything when it comes to this, because this is your work. This is what people look at. This is what people are going to see. So here I'm just simply checking the nails. If anything is too long, I'm cutting off extra, and I'm just making sure that they're the same length. Alright, so now after we have cut our nails, I am going to be filing and shaping the nail. I am using my favorite nail file from Sally Beauty. It is a 100 by 100 washable file. I really like how sturdy they are. They don't bend very easily, and I really like that. So for square nails, you just simply want to go straight with the nail. You want to make sure that you are coming all the way up to that free edge where the tip meets the nail, and you want to make sure that you are evenly applying the same amount of filing on each side. It's very easy to accidentally change square to tapered square or coffin if you don't pay attention. So when I file the nail, I am just simply bringing my file straight up and down, and I'm holding the nail in the finger very tightly because sometimes the tips can be a bit wobbly. You want to file and get a very precise look now before you apply the acrylic, so then when you go back, you don't have to file as much. Once I have filed and shaped the nails, I'm going to go back with my sanding band, my coarse sanding band, and I'm going to simply etch the top of the tips, or file the tops of the tips. I do this because I feel like sometimes with certain products, acrylic and gel will stick better when the tip is etched or filed. I'm going to remove the shine, and when I apply my acrylic, it'll help stick to the nail a lot better. Next, I'm going to apply one coat of my bonder, and then I'm going to go in with 2 coats of primer. The first coat of primer, I put it on very quickly, trying not to get too close to the cuticle area, because sometimes primer can burn the client's skin. So if it does touch the skin, you just want to simply remove it as quickly as possible with a little bit of alcohol. But I do 1 coat of primer, and then I go back and do 2 coats, the second coat, when the acrylic is about to be applied. Acrylic works best when the primer is wet, not when the nail plate is too dry. Alright, it is acrylic time. So I'm starting with my first bead, or ball, however you want to say, and I'm putting it on top of the free edge. I want to make sure that that free edge is secured and it has all of the support that it needs. I am simply taking my wet brush and I'm slightly brushing the acrylic towards the tip of the nail. I don't like thin nails. I don't think thin nails last very long. I don't believe thin nails have a lot of support. Most of my customers who have longer nails, they have very supportive nails. They don't have thick, bulky nails, but the nails are going to be strong in all the right places, and they're going to last. So, as you saw, I kind of missed a little spot on the tip of the nail, so I went back And I just simply applied a small bead, and I'm making sure that it's blended and that it is matching the rest of the nail. My next bead is going right on top of the free edge. The free edge is a very sensitive area and it is the weakest point of the nail. You want to make sure that it is supported and that it has what it needs so that the rest of the nail can be balanced. My last bead is going towards the back of the nail, and you want to make sure that when you put the bead on the nail plate that it is slightly bleeding into the nail, not into the acrylic, into the nail bed. So let's go again. I'm applying my first bead right under the free edge, and I'm lightly brushing the rest of the acrylic to the bottom of the nail. I'm making sure that the sides are nice and even, the acrylic is not spilling over, and I'm patting and making sure that it is flat and blending with the nail. My next bead is going right on top of the free edge to give it that nice support, and I'm making sure that it is blending with the rest of the acrylic on the nail. Checking to make sure there's no weak spots and that it is completely covered. My last bead is going, well, my next bead is going towards the cuticle, keeping that even shape and even height of the nail. And my last bead is going towards the acrylic, and I'm slightly allowing it to bleed into the nail. If I feel like I got too close, I'm taking my brush around the cuticle area and I'm wiping the sides and making sure that no acrylic is touching that cuticle. Once I have finished applying all of my acrylic to all 10 nails, I'm going to go back once the nails are dry and I'm going to simply shape and perfect the nails with shaping. I have to be honest, shaping is my favorite part. I don't know why, but I like just seeing the finished product. And just like in the beginning, I'm going back and I'm simply shaping the sides, making sure that they are straight coming out from the side walls. I'm making sure there's no excess acrylic on the bottom or on the sides of the nails. And I'm slightly bringing my file forward just a little bit to make sure that I get that perfect square shape. Now, as you see, if you notice, I'm really looking at this middle nail. Some of my customers have wider nails than the other, and this nail gives me a problem every single time. So right now, I found a bulky spot where I felt like the acrylic was too high in certain areas. So I'm taking my file and I'm simply filing the top of the nail to make sure that it is even, and I'm going back to check the side walls to make sure that they are straight. I like my nails to have a slight taper on the tip, so I normally take my file and I blend the tip of the nail and the free edge to make sure that it is one level and that it is nice and sturdy and it doesn't have any lumps or bumps or anything like that. Now another trick, if you feel like the nails are not straight, and I know I'm out of frame, I'm sorry, you can flip the hand over and you can re-look at the tip of the nails in the view that the client will look at them. Now I'm taking my sanding band again and I'm just going under the nail tip and around the cuticle to make sure that everything is clean. There's no straggly acrylic, there's no nail tip left. You can see like some of the nail tip is actually like flying off because there was some left underneath the bottom of the nail. But when you go around the cuticle area, you want to be very careful, and you want to make sure that you are creating a slight gap or dip towards the cuticle area, just to make sure that the nail is not bleeding into the acrylic, is not bleeding into the cuticle, and making sure that it's nice and clean. I personally like to file and etch the top of the nail before I polish it, even if it's gel or regular, because I feel like sometimes the polish color will stick a lot better if the nail is not so smooth, if it's a little rough. So that's also what I'm doing right now also. Once I'm done filing, I'm going to go back a little bit and I'm going to buff the top and the bottom of the nail. I don't want to remove that sharp, precise shape that I have, but I'm simply removing any excess nail tip that's on the bottom, and I'm just going to simply just buff the nails to make them a little more smooth, but not completely smooth, because remember, we want that polish or the gel polish to stick very well. Now right now, I would normally have my customer, if they were getting regular polish, to go wash their hands with oil, soap, and water. But because my customer is getting gel polish, I'm simply wiping very well with alcohol and a paper towel. This allows me to remove any excess dust that I missed before I apply my gel polish. Don't they look so pretty? Now I'm going in with my D&D Vast Galaxy 469. I have convinced my customers that glitter is the best thing in the world. So even though my customer liked her nails to be very plain with the pink acrylic, I'm going in with my glitter gel, and I'm just giving her a slight glitter effect. I'm not trying to completely cover the nail. I just wanted it to simply give her the extra shine and the extra pizzazz and shimmer that she wanted. And she's just double checked to make sure she liked it, and she did. When you apply gel polish, you want to get close to the cuticle, but you don't want the polish to bleed into the cuticle. So normally, if I was doing a regular gel polish, I would do a very thin layer first, and then I would go back with a slightly thicker layer, just so that the first layer is not bleeding and running all over the place. It's not sliding into the cuticle area. But you want to be soft, and you don't want to have too much the first time you apply. I think that applying gel polish is better if you do it thinner instead of trying to get a huge amount and slapping it on the nail. Once I have applied my gel polish to the nail, I'm going to have my customer put their hand flat into the UV gel light and dry the nails for about 60 seconds. Gel dries very quickly. Since I was only doing one coat of the glitter, I just had her dry for 60 seconds. And then I went back, did the same thing on the opposite hand, dry for 60 seconds. Once the nails are completely dried for 60 seconds, I'm going in with my favorite top coat by Gelish, and this is their top coat. I really like this top coat because I feel like the nails stay shiny for a very long time, and I feel like it does not chip very easily, and it honestly gives a very smooth and shiny, crisp look to the nail. So I'm going in with my top coat. I'm making sure that I apply it very nicely and that I'm not applying too much so that it doesn't slide or make the nails bulky. And I'm making sure that I cap the tip of the nail with the gel to make sure that nothing is chipping until the customer comes back. Once my nails are done drying for those 60 seconds, I'm going to go back with my alcohol and my paper towel, and I'm going to remove the sticky layer from the top coat from the nails. Most gel top coats, unless it says non-wipe, has a very sticky layer that is on top of the nail after drying. It is actually completely dry underneath, but the sticky layer just has to come off. I'm not really sure why it's there, but I normally just use alcohol and a paper towel and I wipe them down very well. Now for the fun part. My customer loved her glitter, but she just needed a touch of bling. So I'm going in with my buffer again, and I'm only buffing the area where the bling is going. I feel when I apply the glue, it allows the glue to really stick to the nail and attach itself with the diamond to the nail, to the glue very, very well. I'm going to use my Swarovski crystals. I believe this is SS9 crystal AB, kind of rainbow effect. I'm going to use my wax pencil, which is sitting right there, to pick up the diamonds, and I'm going to use my favorite glue, which is actually a secret. Only my customers know about this glue. I might give more information on it better later, but my gems, even my big gems, last very long with this glue. I mean, to the point where sometimes I cannot get them off and I have to soak them in acetone to get them off. This glue is amazing. It's very strong, and as you can see, I'm putting the diamond on the back of the nail. This is where we wanted it, just to add some extra pizzazz or flavor to the nail. And I'm using my wax pencil to pick up the diamond, and I'm just simply placing it in the spot that I want. The only thing about this glue is it dries very fast, and it attaches itself to the gem very fast. So wherever you put that glue, that is where the diamond has to go, because if you do not secure it quick enough, it is going to slide around, or it's going to get stuck in the spot that you might not want it in. Once I've applied all of my gems, I'm going to go in with my nail glue dryer spray. This spray is awesome. I get it at Sally's, and most of the local beauty supply stores have them. It acts as a freeze for glue. So normally when I put my gems on, I put it on afterwards, and then as you see, I'm immediately putting on my gel top coat, and I'm making sure I'm not touching those crystals. If you get the gel on top of the crystals, it will honestly take away the shine of the crystals. So I'm being very careful to only get the sides and around the diamond, and not on top of the crystal. Once I apply that, I'm going to have my customer put their nail in the UV light for another 60 seconds, and then I'm going to wipe the nails down with alcohol again to remove that sticky layer. Once I've removed that sticky layer from the nails, I'm simply going in with some cuticle oil, and I'm massaging it into the nail and the finger, just to give the skin back some moisture that it may lost from me using the alcohol. And of course my customers like it because when I take my pictures, the nails are nice and shiny and they don't look, ashy and crusty. I really hope you liked my video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And remember, glitter makes everything better, so keep shining. Thanks again. See you next time.